Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Ask Leah. Last week, I spoke about the importance of staying true to you and your values when you're communicating, even if the person you're dealing with is being disrespectful to you, and the importance of taking the high road. You might need to call out poor behaviour, but not stooping down to someone else's level. And this prompted some great conversation in the comments, including one from Tara, who asked, how do you call it out? So we know we want to stay true to our values, but we do know that if someone's being disrespectful, sometimes we need to call it out. How do you do that? Okay, tonight I want to share with you some top tips and strategies for doing exactly that. Whether it is in person, where someone is perhaps being aggressive, rude, or intimidating to you, or where it's more likely to happen at the moment, online, be it social media or some other platform. So here are some tips. Number one, stay calm. I know it's easier said than done, but take that big deep breath. Don't do the keyboard warrior thing back. Just take that moment, take a big deep breath, and connect with who do I want to be in this moment. Number two, this can be really hard, but assume positive intent, even if it's really disrespectful, right? If you can assume that this person means well in their response. So stay with me here. This is something I've had to do a few times, or actually a lot of times, over the last 18 months, where someone has got a very different opinion to me on a topic and maybe has been quite aggressive in the way they've presented it. I've had to take that big deep breath and say to myself, even though they're going about it in a way I don't agree with, I really believe that they think they're right. They actually think that they have good intentions here and that they're standing up for what they believe in. So even though I'm going to call it out, I'm assuming that they're not intending to come across this way. We know sometimes people do, but let's come at it with that approach. So we're controlled and we're assuming that even though we're calling it out, it's not their intention to be a horrible person towards you. Number three, stay hard on the issue, soft on the person. So you're coming into this going to stick to your guns and call out the poor behavior, but you're realizing that you're dealing with a human. So kind of similar to assume positive intent, we've got a human here that we are dealing with. And on that, when we do call it out, we are making it about the behavior, not the person. Okay? So if their communication is rude and aggressive, it is their communication that is rude and aggressive. It's a subtle difference, but a significant one, to saying you are too aggressive. All right. One is about the person, one is about the behavior. Next one, it's the big one, empathy. Lead with empathy. Acknowledge the feelings of the other person. So if someone's angry at you or being quite rude and aggressive, you respond with, I appreciate you have strong feelings on this, or I appreciate that you are pretty angry right now, or whatever is appropriate, but you're acknowledging that feeling. And then you are stating your point very, very clearly about what you need from this person. And you're not apologizing for that. It might be, I appreciate that you're really angry right now. However, for me to continue this conversation, I ask that you don't yell at me and that we don't swear at each other. I am happy to have this conversation, but what I need from you is this. Okay? In a social media format, it might be something along the lines of, I appreciate you have a different perspective to me. That's okay. However, while I'm happy to debate an issue, I will not stand for aggressive tone in the messages, and I will delete those posts. Okay, that's if it's on your own. If it's a debate you're not happy to have, if we're not actually debating facts, where one person's presenting facts and the other person's presenting opinion, it's not getting sucked into the argument about that, because People who present their opinion as facts will die in a ditch over the fact that their opinion is a fact. So again, that's where just stating your point clearly, having a really firm, broken record line. Appreciate that's your perspective. However, I am not willing to debate opinion here. I am happy to discuss facts. That means there is evidence or whatever it might be. So you've got to really know what your key message is, and don't get swayed or sucked in to moving away from that. So ask for what you want and need. And then the final point is to escalate with notice. Okay. And, it's similar to ask for what you want and need, but you're also including what the consequence will be if they can't do what you have asked. So that might look like, you might be on a phone call, Peter, I am happy to have this conversation with you. However, if you keep swearing at me like that, I am going to have to hang up the phone. You then pause. The ball is now in their court. Are they going to take it or not? You don't know, but you have made clear what the next step is. Peter keeps swearing at you, and you say really politely, and yes, I have had experience in this one, Peter, I'm going to hang up the phone now. However, if you want to call me back at a time when we can have a conversation without yelling and swearing, I'm happy to do that. Bang. Okay, so Tara, I hope this helps. Yes, you do have to ask yourself, am I wanting to engage here or not? And that was a topic I covered on radio last week. Sometimes the best thing is to not engage, but if someone is being rude and disrespectful, it is absolutely appropriate to call that out. The key is not stooping to their level in the way that you do that. The minute you use you statements rather than the empathetic I, when you say, you don't speak to me like that, or you're so rude, then it becomes an attack, it's escalated, and it gets really messy really fast. So take the high ground in the way that you call it out and shut it down as well. And even if the other person keeps carrying on, you can guarantee the people around you will see through it and see it for what it is. Good luck. Cheers, everyone, and have a great week as much as you can in whatever circumstance you're in. It is a tough time. So if you have questions about self-management, communication, anything soft skill that can help you through, get in touch and I will do my best to answer your question next week. Cheers.